Hey guys, Dips Maverick here once again, bringing you another video. It's Saturday, and as I said, I would be recording a new video this week to take you through some of the trades I would take and a little bit of what I've been up to. What a crazy week we just had! I mean, wow, Brexit was crazy. And tell you the truth, if you were trading with the trend during this period, um, you would have absolutely smashed it. You would have absolutely smashed it. And do you know what? Even if you didn't, don't worry about it because there's going to be a lot more days like that to come. And the strategy I'm going to take you through today, which is actually based on Jazz's Go with the Flow strategy, as well as some of the risk management tricks I use with that strategy, you're going to see ways of taking a whole lot of pips. So let's get started. Before we just jump into these videos, actually, I'm going to talk you through some of the things I want you to understand and why I actually moved my model of trading to such tight risk management and came up with a way to actually be looking at taking a lot more pips than what I lose when I lose a trade. Um, Firstly, I've blown a whole lot of accounts. I have blown a whole lot of accounts, I promise you that. And I don't even want, I think I've mentioned the figures to people in the past in the room about how much I've lost. I'm not even going to go into that. Um, but um, with this method, I promise you, I mean, even like Rocky has been using risk management lately. I was talking to Rocky in the room just yesterday, and he was telling me, going with the flow and using risk management correctly, he's had some really good results. And do you know what? That's just going to continue. And the mindset stuff I'm going to talk to you about, and the understanding and what the types of things I want you to understand, not just about trading, but yourself, this should help. So let's start with that. So I've put some slides together. Let's start with that and go into that. So let's get these slides up. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee. Right, cool. Let's get started. So, firstly, now Jazz is literally just the king. I kid you not. I mean, I, as much as he's a Man United fan, I have to say he's the king because, first of all, most of my trading I learned from Jazz as well as other MTs in the room. But his recent video on Go with the Flow is actually something I was also working on in the sense that I started using the HA bands a lot more. And one thing that he says is right is that the HA bands really are the key to um, a few things. However, it only works. The HAs only work if you can read the one and fours and you can read, where direction is most likely going. The whole point of using the HA charts is to get your entrance right and understand where the immediate flow is. So the way I look at Jazz's recent strategy, I'm calling it the go with the flow strategy, is that first of all, he's telling you to stay with the trend. Now, why is he saying stay with the trend? I'll explain. A lot of you actually have a habit of trying to trade reversals, and I don't blame you because I had the same problem. Once I learned how reversals worked, I started trying to trade them all the time. And when I traded them all the time, I ended up losing a lot of pips at times because sometimes it looked like a reversal, but it wasn't actually a reversal. It was actually a fake reversal. Now, how the trend works is that if you're with the trend, you've probably heard the saying, the trend is your friend. Well, that's true, and that's because most traders actually trade with the trend, and so do many institutes. They like to go with the trend because what happens is it's a much clearer route. Um, for the market to go in. And that's because every time you've tried to trade a reversal, you've seen that, okay, it hits the 5 minute and bounces. So that's one wall. It hits the 15 minute and bounces. It hits the 30 minute and bounces. Now, in each one of those bounces, it could be the last bounce. Like it could hit the 30 and you may think it's going to the 1 hour, but from the 30 it shoots straight back into the trend and heads off, another 100 pips higher than where you thought the trend where you thought that reversal was starting. And the reason that happens is again, it's there's just not anything in its way to stop it from going higher. And this is why trading with the trend is much easier. And this is why when you certain trades, when you take them, you'll see how quickly you get your pips with the trend. And that's because you're going with the flow, right? You're going with the flow of the market, and where the market is really, where the market has been immediately pushing, and because you're with that immediate push, you're going to get a lot more pips. And this is what I really want you to understand, is that the go with the flow strategy, and I can understand why Jazz and the MTs are pushing you towards a trend, because um, you're just going to have a lot more wins. It takes a lot more work for your trade to go 10 pips against you against the trend than with the trend. So if I promise you, next week, if all you do is trade the trend, you will notice that um, any trade that you lose for 10 pips, let's say you are using a 10 pip stop loss, which I'm going to be hopefully stopping you from doing today, but let's say you are using a 10 pip stop loss. Any trade you take, you'll see how long it takes for it to get to those 10 pips. It's not going to get there really fast unless you've really caught a trade at the perfect reversal point. um, but otherwise it will take a long time to get there, and it will keep bouncing back into the trend before it gets there, even if it is heading down. So that's something for you guys to look out for. And so this is why the trend is important, and trading with the trend. GU was a great example this week. Brexit was crazy. However, if you stayed with the trend and you focused on good entry points, you were taking almost like 20, 30, 40, even more pips in one trade, and that was happening, in 15-minute candles. One was a 5-minute candle. Oh wow, it was just crazy. Um, so this is why I think that we've now got the perfect strategy in the room, because we're going with the trend, we're going with the flow of the market. So let's say that for the next 2 or 3 hours you have one and fours, and the market is, reversing. What you can do is go with the flow. So you may not necessarily be on the long-term trend, but you'll be on the trend for the next hour or two if you use the HA bands correctly, and you look out for, your 30 minutes, your 15 minutes, your 1 hour, and your 4 hour. Then even when a bigger pullback is happening on the 4 hours, you're going to be on that because you're going with the flow. And the final part of that strategy is risk, right? Because what we're going to do is and this is what I'm going to go through today, is how do you manage your risk correctly? Um, and the reason this strategy is so perfect is that with go with the flow, I'm going to show you how you take a lot of pips, and with risk, I'm going to show you how we cut our losses quickly. And I will come back to that, and I'll show you why that makes sense. Because if you want to be a good trader, you need to understand this, and you need to accept this. Forget understanding it, because I believe that everybody in the room that's probably going to see the rest of everything today is going to understand this. I believe that everybody in the room that has seen half the things Jazz has told them, they understand it. They just haven't chosen to fully register what is being said, or what even, Anissa actually talks about risk quite a bit, in a different way, but she talks about risk quite a bit because, the reason she's picking those selective locations to enter her trades is actually in many ways managing her risk. And she'll tell you, I know that she actually, on a number of occasions, has used stop losses that are less than, 10 pips, like 5 pip stop losses, 7 pip stop losses. She's mentioned that in the chat row a few times. The reason this strategy is perfect, the go with the flow strategy, is because number one, we're going to be telling you where the entrance is. And Jazz has given you that with the HA bands. He's telling you exactly where the entrance is. So now all you need to do is work on the timing of your entrance. What else? Once you're going with the flow and that trade has gone really well in your direction, you actually know where to get out. And again, I'll talk about getting out today, because even to be honest, this is one area which even I'm trying to get better at. I leave pips on the table. However, I'm okay with leaving pips on the table at times, because sometimes, if a trader shot up to 20, 25 pips and I could see it, starting to come down a bit, sometimes I'm happy with the 20 pips, so I close the trade because I'm like, well, I'm pretty happy with these 20 pips. I know it might go more. However, I only used a 5 pip stop loss, so I've got 4 to 1 on that from a risk management point of view. So why would I not take that? Yes, at times I've seen it go to 40 pips, and I could have had another 20. That's something I'm personally working on. Um, the last point of it is that you have a fire exit. And to me, that's like your risk management. That's what your stop loss is. That's your fire exit. If things hit the fan and a fire kicks off, the trade ain't going in your direction, you've got a fire exit. So, the fact that you combine the trend going with the flow and your risk, and if you combine that with a long-term story of what your long terms are telling you, I promise you, you can't go wrong. And even if you do have a bad day, the worst case is that that's gonna happen to you is you're gonna lose 10 or 15 pips for that day. What's not gonna happen is you're not gonna be like I've lost 60 pips today or I've lost 45 pips today, or I'm stuck in this trade. Do you think it's gonna come back in my favor? None of that. We're moving away from that. Um, so the next slide, I guess, is this is really important, and Warren Buffett said this, so pay attention, guys. The stock market is a device for transferring money from um, is transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Yeah, what does he mean by that? Well, anybody that's like clicking into trades when it's not at the band at the right place on the band, or they didn't wait for momentum as well, they didn't wait for their final confirmations. You guys are the impatient, and that's why sometimes that trade, you might be right that it's going, you might have taken a buy at a band, but you might have taken it slightly too early, and it actually wants to go a bit more. And momentum actually never told you to get in, but you got in thinking, if I get in early, I can take a few more pips here. What that actually is the impatient. That is the impatient. So today I'm going to show you how you be patient, but we use a model that allows you to be patient, because if you don't have these certain things, you don't get in. Simple as that. Um, but patience is a real, taking money from this is where, like, anybody that's trading, I hope you know that when you take a trade, there's somebody on the other side of that trade. So when you win, you're taking someone's money. When you lose, they are taking your money. So accept that. And so that's what that is taking money from it's the patient taking money from the impatient. Um, and so if you're struggling with patience, then you fix that today. Now, I'm actually this has been a very difficult journey for me from a trading point of view, and I'll explain why. Because I'm a g- I enjoy gambling. Now, I'm not a gambling addict or anything like that, but I like in the UK you can go to casinos. It's not like the US where you need to be in Vegas or Atlantic City or somewhere. In the UK there's casinos like in lots of different towns. I like to go to the casino with my friends, sometimes even with like family members. Um, and just have a bit of a bet, have a few drinks, maybe play some roulette, some blackjack, but I actually that's entertainment for me, and I like gambling. I like taking a punt on things, and I'm no different. I'm actually when I worked professionally and also with my current business that I have now, I'm no different. I like to roll the dice on matters, and I like to take risks. I like to take business risks because I know for me taking risk for me is a big part of who I am, and I enjoy it. It gives me a bit of a rush as well. With my business, my risks are always calculated, and that's really important because one thing I wasn't doing with Forex before was taking calculated risks. I was just taking risk without calculating whether I should take this risk or not. Whereas when I'm in business, when I'm running my business, everything I do is calculated, and especially in the field I work in, there's a lot of data involved. So I let the numbers do the talking, and I say, what are these numbers telling me? And from that I get insights and I get knowledge, and then I use that knowledge in my favor. So that's calculated risk. Um, with Forex, I wasn't doing that. And part of the reason I wasn't doing that is because we do a lot of mindset stuff in the room. Some of those videos we watch really focus on positive mindset and positive energy. Um, Now, I have a very positive mindset, but what that means is because I like gambling and I have a very positive mindset, what that means is that sometimes what we see depends mainly on what we look for. Um, and you almost see what you want, like this image, for example. That image can be interpreted in many different ways. So, what would happen to me is that when I see a trade opportunity for any strategy that I'm using, I will automatically be really positive about that opportunity and assume that that's going to win. The truth is that that opportunity could lose because this is the forex market and anything can happen. However, because I'm so positive about it, I'm almost blinded by the fact that actually it might not work out. And so I'll enter that trade, and I'll enter that trade with the view of taking 5 pips or 10 pips in my favor, and it might go to 9 pips and turn around and just keep going back down, where I don't want it to go. But I won't have thought about that because I'm so positive and I'm so confident that that trade's going to win that my mindset is not allowing me, it's almost making me blind to the fact that this may not work out in your favor. And I bet a lot of people in the room are also like this because I know that a lot of you guys talk about mindset and a lot of you guys talk about positivity and you know but this is what could be happening to you. You could be blinded to the fact that actually this is what could happen. And I'm so glad that these days we talk about risk a bit more and we talk about managing a risk and because I think that we're just not going to blow accounts the way that I blew accounts. And I know some of the other MTs in the past blew accounts before they managed to become successful as well. So you really need to understand that if you're a really positive person, then you are blinded to the ideas of risk management or any of that. And so you need to take that as a weakness and say, I'm going to do something about that weakness. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, is we're going to do something about that weakness. I have no idea how long this video has been so far, but I do want to get to the video soon. So I'm going to jump ahead now. And so here, there's a picture, obviously, of the fact that you don't always see everything. Now, right now, this is you guys who are basically, you're sitting at your desks, you're trading, and you're really frustrated. There's papers flying every day. You're punching the walls. You're all sorts of crazy stuff, right? And here's the reason, right? And this is why risk management is really important because this is what happens when you come into the trading room. You see an opportunity, you take it, and you win 5 pips, so you climb the ladder a bit. Think of this like snakes and ladders. So you pick up 5 pips, you then take another one, you then take another 5 pips. You take a third trade, you win that, you take that for another 5 pips. It's the same thing with your fourth, you take another 5 pips. So that's now you're 20 pips up. You're 20 pips up, but you also need to think about the commission that was involved in those 5 pip trades, which actually probably only account to, I think, work out to about 3.8 pips each once you take the spread and the commission into account. So that's, let's call it four for argument's sake. Let's minus 1 pip for commission. So that's 16 pips basically. Um, and then you take another trade. However, that trade goes against you, but you're using a 15 pip stop loss or you're using a 10 pip stop loss, right? So what's happened is you lose 10 pips. And you're like, oh man, I just lost 10 of my pips. And I'm up 16, so now I've only really got what's equivalent to about 6 pips in profit. And Jazz has got like probably 55 pips by now, and I just saw Algo mention, the 6 stacks is taken, and so he's done 6 times 5, so he's got like 30 there, and he's done that, but he's done that a few times as well. Oh man, I'm absolutely I'm absolutely screwed here. So then you think you see an opportunity and you take another trade, but you're almost like reacting to the fact that you lost this trade, because your emotions are now starting to kick in. You're not being as regimental as you were here because you've had that one loss. And this one starts heading like it gets about 8 pips against you, and it starts coming up back up a bit, and you're like, you know what? I'm confident this one's going to win, because I have a really good win ratio. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my stop loss a bit on this one, and I want to move it to 20 pips because it's so close to 10. And then you move that, and it makes its way back to -3 pips, and you're like, yep, this is definitely coming back in my favor. But then the trend kicks in again and it shoots completely down, and it takes you out for 20 pips, or if you didn't have a stop loss, it's 40 pips down. And suddenly that's it. You've lost your day, and then you take a third trade and you win 5 pips. But by this point, the damage has already been done. You lost 10 here. You let this one slide for 20, so that's 30 pips down. When you only really had like 16, so you're like easily 15 pips down here. That's best case scenario. That's providing you don't open the stop loss up on this and it carried on going against you, or that trade's still running. But then you take another 5 pip winner. So if essentially what you're doing here is basically you're letting your losers run and hoping that they win, and what you're doing is you're basically using a take profit on your winners, uh, so that you can actually feel that great feeling of winning a trade. So you're not even letting that trade really flourish to what it could flourish to. Um, Now afterwards you got someone like Jazz. So this is this geezer here, like this could be Jazz. Um, and he's just sitting at his desk. Oh, that's PP, Jazz, MB. Like all you guys. I used a woman and a man, just for equal opportunity's sake. And they like especially PP because he loves letting his winners run, right? And what they're doing is they're basically saying, all right, well, I'm going to enter this trade at this band, and actually, if it goes against me, I'm probably going to get out, because I might be wrong. Um, so this is I'm very much like this. What I've drawn here, I'm very much like this. I might lose 5 pips. Oh, that was I got in a bit early there, and actually that's not where it was going to go up from. I'm confident it's going up, so I'll lose another 5 pips. I lose another 5 pips. I'm down 15 pips here, right? And if I take my commission into account, that's actually probably about 18 pips, right? So call it I'm down 18 pips, and I've lost 3 trades. By the way, I don't ever lose 3 trades in a row, but I'm trying to make a case here. So I'm now down 18 pips. Not I'm down. I've lost 15 plus the commissions, call it 18 pips, right? And then I get in one, but I hold that sucker, and I hold it and hold it and hold it, and then I get 20 pips from it. So boom, I'm back in profit. One trade, lost three, won one. I'm actually 2 pips up. Do you think I'm happy with that? Yes, I'm happy with that, because then another opportunity comes and I take that. And guess what? I ride that for a bit longer and I end up getting 28 pips from that. So now I've got 48 pips. However, I was down 18, right? Which what that basically puts me 20 pips up, right? And then, all right, fine, I lose 2 more, so now I'm only 10 pips up because I lost another 5. But I grab another one, and that goes for 30 pips. Bang, I'm out of that. Let's say it only goes for 15. Fine. You know what's happened? I've actually, worst case scenario, I've broken even, but otherwise, I have at least taken 10 pips in the day, if not more. And by the way, half these loses don't even come for me. Normally, it's more like one loss, 2 wins. One loss. Okay, call it 2 losses, another win. Done. See you later. That's evens. And guess what? I'm still like 30 pips up even after having a 50-50 win ratio. Because this is what good traders do. Really good traders. They're not afraid to cut their losses, and then they're not afraid to let their winners run. Um, and this is why so many people can't trade well, because a really good trader has the mindset that tells them that I don't care if I've lost 5 pips, because I can gain 20 with the right trade. I don't mind having more losers than winners, because I know I can still finish in the plus. And they've accepted this amazing mindset that is what is going to turn them into, that is what makes them money in the end. Um, anyway, so I hope you guys understand the importance of this and the importance of risk management, because this basically summarizes it. And what most of you are doing is actually, is this. You're doing this. How crazy does that look? The ladder is smaller than the snake. That means you always end up at the bottom. Whereas with this, you get to the top. The drop isn't so bad. Yeah, but when you climb high. Yeah, it's there. Just take a mental snapshot of this picture and the picture before, because this is, do you want to be this person? Because 75% of the market is this person, and I spent a long time being that person, and I'm not that person anymore. Or do you want to be this person? This is the person I am now. Yeah, who are you? And do you want to be successful at this? All right, great. We've spent plenty of time with that. So basically, I had to split this video up into join together two videos now, simply because as I started trying to play the videos in the previous video, my internet bugged, and then after that, my daughter woke up. So I'm now back here much later in the evening to record the rest of it, and I've just cut the first video, which actually was pretty long on the mindset stuff, but very useful. So take that mindset stuff in, and now we're going to look at some videos. So let's get into it, and hopefully my internet doesn't play up on me. It's actually pretty late now. It's like quarter to 11 in the UK. I've got a whiskey with me, and I'm going to take you through some of these videos. So let's get cracking. Cool. So let's pick video. Yeah, so if you hear some ice rattling or sipping going on, then you know that I'm just having a drink. If it sounds a bit weird. Um, cool. So the idea is go with the flow. But before we can do any of that, we need to come on full screen. I told you my internet is just it's just taking a while. I don't know what is going on. Oh, here we go. Right, fine. Um, so the idea is go with the flow. So that's what we're going to do. So if we look at GU here, we can see that it's been trending up today. It's at a 4 hour, it's on a 4 hour, it's on an 8 hour, it's got a daily as well. We have got a blue here. So we do need to be cautious, but we are going to be looking to go with the flow here, and use a very wise stop loss. Because even though sometimes you get blues, but that doesn't mean it immediately wants to turn around and go down. We still don't have a real strong 30-minute setup, 1 hour setup. Blues need help, remember that. And we've got 8 hour and a daily on the head against us. So you just need to bear that in mind. See, there you go, it just shot up again, the GU did. Similarly, EG is the other way around. So we're seeing some downside on that. Again, we've got an 8 hour down on the UC as well. UC is a little bit messy and a bit wicky, and so I'm not sure about that. GC is probably worth me telling you now. I don't trade the GC. I generally try not to. Some days I may choose to, but 3 pip spread before even getting in. I just don't like the idea of that with my risk management. And I probably will start trading the GC sooner, but sooner or later. But what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to have much bigger stop losses and much bigger take profits. I still think I can be better before I um, decide to take the GC on a daily basis, because there's a lot of fluctuation that happens in this big pip. So if you do it, you should be looking at doing half the lot size than you do on like things like the GU and the UC. So just bear that in mind. I know that you get pips really quickly, but you also lose pips really quickly. So just bear that in mind. Right, let's see if we can get some trades here. So I'm just gonna try and oh, is that playing? Yeah, it's playing. Right, try and find an opportunity here. I might fast forward a little bit, because what we want is something that is up the bands and ready to. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for this to come back to HA bands. This looks like it's coming. The G is coming to the HA bands now. Um, and I will look to take it up once it gets there. And I know there's 1 hour. I know that we saw a blue a little while ago as well, but I'm still not afraid of it because do you know what? It's a real strong trend, and this is what you're going to see, that trends that are strong, it takes a while. It really does take a while, and it takes a few goes. Reversals, this is why the other thing is that you shouldn't be jumping into reversals immediately, especially after a strong trend has occurred. And you have got signals against you, the dailies against you, the 8 hours against you. There's a lot going on. So this is why Jazz's go with the flow strategy of good risk management is better. You're going to take a lot more pips. Also, you might find that you can take one trade right from the start and you won't even need to take another one afterwards. The whole idea of this is good risk management, and then just picking a few, picking the right setups, um, picking the right setup so that one of them, even just one of them, takes off and makes your day. Um, and that means, let's say you're only going to take 3 trades every day. One of them hits 20 pips and the other two lost for 5 pips each. You've still done great. Do you see what I mean? They say that actually, so traders say that anybody that can take 10 pips out of the market every day is like a trading king. So think about that. Just, most traders don't win every day. With MT system, you can win every day. So please, please, please bear that in mind. Right, come on, GU. Let's get down. Let's get down. Right, sorry, I'm forwarding a little bit here. Trying to get it down to this band. Now, here's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, because I know what a lot of you guys have been doing. What you do is you see it touch the band here, and immediately get in. But what I want to show you, and this is going to stop you from entering bad trades, more so than grabbing good ones early. But the fact that you're going to get into a lot less trades and get into a lot less trouble is makes it much more important to do it this way. And that is basically, don't don't just get in when it hits this band. Wait for momentum. Let momentum guide your entry. Right, come on, get down. See, it's still red. Look, it's still going. It's still going red. So I know a lot of you will be eager at this point and trigger fingering and ready to get in, and just in case you miss it. If you miss a trade, it doesn't matter. What matters is good risk management and an entry that makes sense. And an entry that makes sense needs momentum. Right, so that's at about 77 right now. I'm still not getting in. You can see it's on it. It's on it. I could hit the button now and I'd probably be safe, but you know what? What if I'm not? What if, look, I've got a 1 hour here now and I've got a blue. So, but my strategy is go with the flow, and I still believe in this 8 hour and daily. It's actually in a good position. I haven't got a 30-minute. The short term, I want to see more. Like, this is the whole point. Like, you guys would be, a lot of you that are losing right now would be in this, and you'd be in it to the downside, thinking it's about to go all the way to that 30-minute road, or all the way to that 1 hour orange road, and you'll sit there. Um, while I'll be sitting here waiting for momentum from this HA band. Because remember what I said to you about reversals? They hit walls, and when they hit walls, they go the other way. And when a strong trend has happened, a lot of the time it wants to hit a wall and just keep going. So this is what we're going to take advantage for. This is what happens most days as well. When trends are in play, that's it. Like, the only days that this strategy you have to work a little bit with it is on ranging days. Do you see how this has now broken the band here? And momentum never went green through any of that process. So this is why, like, if you had got in a bit earlier, it is going to be against you. Like, you would have got in at around 77. It's already 2 pips against you, and you'll be thinking, oh, is this going to continue or not? I mean, I'm seeing a lot of momentum flashing here. But what we're going to do, we're going to wait. So instead of getting in too early and letting it go against us, we're going to wait. It doesn't matter if we miss a couple of pips out of it, because we've got 1 hour against us. We've got blue on here as well. But our strategies go with the flow until we see a really good setup. This is not a 1 and 4 immediate setup. I can tell you that now, because you usually have 15, 30s, and you really want a 4 hour, and you've got a daily against you, and you've got an 8 hour against you. Remember, what is number 4? Trade daily signal with number 2. Yeah, that means look for trend. And that's what we're doing here, right? I've got a flicker here. There you go, green. I'm in 77. Yeah, I'm in at 77. Let's see what happens. Also, where am I putting my stop loss? 77. I'm going to put it 5 pips because I know that that's much below here. So that means 71 is 77. So 72 is our stop loss. It's below this band. I've got some green momentum. I'm ready to get in this. Now this is flashing green as well. You can wait for them both to turn green. That's completely up to you because you still would have got the 77 price. In all honesty, you still would have got the 77 price, but I saw some momentum and I was like, I'm in because I'm only risking 5. And I know that I'm going to hold this trade. I'm open TP right now, by the way. And even things like this band flip this band flip is basically against the trend. I'm not scared of it at this moment in time because the whole point of this is I want to take as many pips. So I'm not going to stop at 10. I'll show you what I do sometimes at 10, and I do this all the time with the trend. Um, Right, come on. There you go. It's going. What did we get in at? 77. So so it's at 83 pips again. Not lots yet. 81. Right, we're just gonna let this go now. Come on. See how that super's gone? Because it's his first move. Like you haven't got 15s and 30s. Like you haven't got a full-on 15 and 30 set up yet either. And you see, it wasn't like flying down so strong. You have to manage these trades as well because the blue has disappeared, so that band doesn't flip band doesn't worry me just yet. But you have to manage the fact that that could change price around. But that's why we have a -5 stop loss because if it does happen, we're going to look for another trade. That's what we're going to do. Okay, I'm going to forward a bit so we can get a bit of a move on. Right, let's see what happens. Right, 83, 77. So it went 5 pips. It's turning the other way now. Let's see. See, and that's that band flip. So this is what you have to manage. You've got a choice. You can say, well, I was in that 70, now a couple of pips up. I want to get out, or you can just stay in it. I'm staying in it for with the trend. I don't mind losing 5 either. There are times that I move my stop loss to 0 afterwards. Um, but the trend look again, nothing on the 50, nothing on the 30. It's just that. Everything else is up. And these 4 hours usually want to go more than just the candle. That candle's just finished. They usually have more in them in the second candle. So yeah, so let's stay in it. We've got the daily. We've got a lot going for us here. Right, there we go. 83. So that's 5 pips, 6 pips up again, aren't we? 77. Yeah. Right. I don't like the fact that this band is decided to settle down here, but again, we're going to stay in it because we're only risking 5. And that blue's gone. There's plenty going for us. Um, the other thing you find that quite often, reversals, if they are going to happen, they happen on the hour. So look at the time as well. I just looked at it, and it's still like 5 minutes, so might get a nice little move. 89. So we're already actually 12 pips up now. Right. What you can do here now is move your stop loss. The band has come higher to 78, so you can either move it to you can move your stop loss to 78, which means that it's at 1 pip, right? So that means you're above break even now. Um, and we're going to hold this. Look, there you go. I haven't got a reason to get out yet, and I'll tell you when I have a reason because look, these greens are still coming, and you haven't seen one. What Jazz talks about them being smaller than the previous. This is higher. This has gone higher than the previous one, so I'm not getting out yet. I have no reason to get out, and you know what? I'm fully expecting this maybe to even break the band. You got a 15-minute, so I'm going to see that 15-minute out to see where it gets to, and on the hour is when I'll be like, "Hmm, maybe it's not going to go. Oh, there you go. Look, 93. So 77 was our entry. We're still going. Right, so we're at 20 pips now. 21. Oh, we're over. Was it 77, 87, 97? Yeah, so we're at 23 pips. Got blues on here now showing up again. Blue on the right. This is where I would consider starting to think about getting out, but like because I'm really happy with the fact that I'm over 20 pips, and I only risked five. Yeah, yeah. See, I definitely out. So let's just say we got out at 95, or probably when that purple here is when we would have when that purple showed up. Yeah, look, so 90, 96, we would have got out there, right? Because we're getting an arrow against us. It's gone a lot. This is all starting to wick through. It's broken through. We know that this blue's back as well, so we're out now. So we actually took 96. So we took 19 pips from that. We could have got 23 potentially, but this is a good time where you might decide to get out, especially because it's like the hour's just finished. So this is when also reversals can really start kicking in. So it's a great time to get out. So fine, 19 pips. We've got 19 pips from that. Now let's see what's going on. I mean, GC is flying, but I just don't trade it, so I haven't seen an opportunity. And while that trade was going on, there was probably actually that band didn't flip up to later. I always wait for the band flip to meet rather than try to guess if that band is going to get to that price. Right, that UC has just broken through. Now you see here, it hasn't got the GU, it hasn't got to it never got to 87, which is where the band is currently sitting. So there's no entry there. This is what's going to help you with your patience as well. Look, you've got a 1 hour again on the new hour. Blues back. So this is when you can, this is when you should be a little bit like, okay, it's broken through the 8 and it's come back through. The blue is back, and we're seeing 1 hour on here. But again, I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, we could take this. We could take this at 90 and see what happens. But I'm not going to because I've just taken 19 from here, and there's quite a lot going against me, so I'm not going to take it. Um, even if it is going to win. If you did take it, then what would have happened? See, it's going down. I think yeah, you would have lost. You would have lost. Oh, what was the entry there? Once it touched, the entry was 90. Yeah, you would have lost 5 pips because it went down to 85 and then came back up. Um, right, what have we got? See, the EG could be an interesting one up. This is the other thing I want to talk to you about because when you could see that a reversal has fully started on, well, the first part of a reversal has started on the EG, and you've got a 1 hour, again, you've got 4 hour blues. So what you want to be doing, again, even here, look, this has gone pink again now. I would definitely be looking at a reversal on the GU now because suddenly this looks much stronger. I just saw I thought I just saw a 15-minute flashing here, did I? Yeah, there is a 15-minute there, but it has to go back up. Now, when things go back up against trends, you will see the opposite band. This is not with the trend. When you're going with the flow against the trend, so for example, you've got 1 and 4s and you're gonna start taking them in that direction, you will see bands break quite often. So you just need to bear that in mind. And this is why I'm telling you to wait for momentum because it stops you grabbing a fake HA band entry. There was an there was a potential entry here, but it was pretty quick to go take it down, to take the GU down. There, once you got some momentum there, you did have an entry there. It's pretty quick. I would miss that probably, especially if I was talking in the group or something. But there was definitely a down entry on that to go in favor of the reversal. But do you see you're 19 pips up with the trend? How many of you would have tried to turn that around? Is my question. Mm. It's okay if we miss this. I've missed it. I'm not even going to tell you I took it down because I think I would have missed it, had I been trading on the day. Because I get distracted by the chat roll sometimes and all sorts, all right? So I don't like the UC. You're getting a lot of signals potentially going up with the little reds, and the turnaround could be here because that band is coming there. We've got a yellow up. We've got red yellow 1 hour. We've got 4 hour up and an 8 hour. So there could potentially be an entry, and we've only got a 15. A 30 hasn't shown up yet. So this band is gonna keep breaking, and I bet you it goes up. Now this is why stop loss is important, because if I want to bet on that, then I can, and I can happily lose 5 pips and still be in a profit today. Yeah, so that's gone to 50 now. I don't think I'm going to take it because when I see all these wicks, I just don't like. It means there's just too much volatility going on. And right now I'll be risking with that 19 pip trade we did. We basically had a 5 pip stop loss, so we had almost a 4-to-1 ratio. Are we going to get the same on this? I just don't know, because that's 50, that's 62, that's only 12 pips. There's not a lot going through on the market there. Look, see the EG you did have a trade here because everything is pointing up. The EG is like at 13, I believe, 14. It's on there. We want to see it, right? Okay, it's red. Oh, it's gone green again. 15. I'll take that. 15. I'm in. Right. So it's a bit late. That is 15. 21. The worrying thing here is that we got yellow pretty early. We're already at the band. It's 21. We're 6 pips up. We haven't got our 2-to-1 ratio yet, because we would have had we could have actually start like where we could have had a 4 pip stop loss because it's 12, so we would have put our stop loss at about 11 or 10. So let's just say it was a 5 pip stop loss. This would be worrying me. I would probably get out here, but it could also go for more. So what I would probably do at this point, I'm going to move my stop loss from -5 to 1 pip. So either way, I'm basically not going to lose any commission, and I'm not going to lose 1.1 pips or whatever. If it goes back to 15, then fine, I've lost, and I've lost nothing, and I'm going to leave it running for 10 pips, because if it gets there, then that's great. I told you, look, it's dropping. Right, so I'm still in it. Oh, there you go. I'm out and I lost nothing. Break even. Yeah. Do you see my point here? So if that was going to continue up, the problem was I got in at the bands, fine. The entry wasn't bad, but it was so close to the 1 hour orange line that there was going to be a reaction. And this is what I mean. Look, so see how this band is now breaking. That doesn't mean that this thing is now down the rest of the time. What's going on? It's hit the 1 hour, so it's having its bounce back. And the other thing is we haven't had a 4 hour appear on here, so we got to monitor this. Is it going to look? It's going to all. There you go. I jumped pretty far there. It went all the way back to test the 15-minute band, and now it could probably be up. The only problem is that by the time momentum flashed, all right, where did momentum go green? Like momentum's gone green here because it is still up. You've got the 4 hour blue. You've got plenty telling you that. One thing that worries me is the daily still, and it worries me with both of these, to be honest, is that that's why you're seeing these bands break opposite, because they want to come back and try and test that low on the 15-minute and on the 30-minute, and also even to a degree on the 1 hour, to see if this EG is going to keep going. Now, on the GU where I've just stopped, this is where we got a potential entry, because if this goes red, um, we can get into the downside. Right, there you go, red. 82, 81. Right, 81. Now here's the thing. You can't use a 5 pip stop loss here. I'm confident this is going down more, simply because of the setup. Now, the issue I've got is that I'm getting in at 81. However, the high is 90, the high is 92, right? So I'm not going to take this trade. And that's because I have to have if my, that's a 12 pip stop loss from this band to 82, where momentum has gone red. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait for another entry. I'm not going to take this. If that entry comes, great. If it doesn't, then oh well, so be it, right? I've got the same problem on the EG, and that's simply because of you can see these spikes that have just happened. And because of those spikes and how aggressive they are, my entry's gone. I'm not going to take it, and it might just fly down now. And that is what my bias is. But look, it's broken, and you wouldn't have got in here because momentum was flashing. Momentum never turned red on you at this point. But here is where momentum's gone red. The problem is it's too late. So we're not going to get that trade. What happens on the G? Again, on both of them, they've actually come back down. You're actually getting another entry on the EG, and we're going to see what happens. GU has got another entry. Oh, there you go. So here's your entries. Right, momentum green. Get in. Oh 07. You can use a 2 pip stop loss here if you want. Oh wait, sorry, it's at 08. So you can have 4 pip stop loss just under the band there. You could take if is that red? Did the G go red? Yep, it's red now. 84 I'm in. Right, 84 I'm in, but I've got 92. Yeah, so my stop loss is at 91. So again, it's 7 pips. It's a bit higher. So I have to take 14 pips here, and I've got 14. And I'm it's still going. I've moved by this point. I've moved my stop loss to 0, and even potentially 5 pips if to take something out of it. But you see, like what I'm still figuring out is when to always get out. But to me, this is a good entry, 68. So if I get out at 60 or 70, it's at yeah. So if I get out at 70, because that's the actual price. If I got out at 78, if I got out somewhere here, then I've got my 2-to-1 ratio because I had to have a 7 pip stop loss on that, but I got 14, and that's okay. And the moment I got to 10 pips, I moved my stop loss from this band back here where I entered. So I've either moved it to 0 or I've moved it to 1.1 to make sure that that trade has become completely risk free. Yeah, so because once this thing starts moving, the last thing you want is a winning trade to become a losing trade. So move that stop loss to break even, or if you're not bothered about the commission, then move it to 0 and take your money that way. Because other thing is you've hit the 1 hour again. Yeah, it looks like it's going to the 4 hour. Potentially, like if I've moved this to 1, and I'm quite happy to see if it's going to get to the 4 hour, which I think it is, then we can hold this trade. And look, it's carried on going as well. Look, all right, okay, it hasn't quite got there yet. We're running out of video, but Um, yeah, it looks like it's gonna go. So there's a good chance I might hold that to the 4 hour. But the point is, I can't lose this trade now. I've already got 19 pips for the day. Um, if you know what I mean, like I've already got 19 pips for the day, and it doesn't matter whether this trade wins or not because I'm going to be happy with the 19 pips I've taken. Cool. Again, this video is getting quite long. Hopefully I'm doing you guys justice with a good explanation of how I'm managing these things. But what I'm basically saying is that what I'm doing now is I'm basically going with the flow of things and going with the flow of either the signals or the trend when each one of them is quite strong. Um, and then what I'm doing is when a trade has really taken off, I'm basically moving my stop loss to break even. So then what happens is and this works much better when it's with the trend than against the trend because against the trend you get a lot of spike like the spikes I just showed you when the reversals is taking place and you're seeing those dead cat bounces the HA bands break a lot more, so you need to bear that in mind. So if you are going to be taking those, then you might need to think about maybe taking profit when momentum switches or something. Because I do that sometimes, but I'm trying to show you more regimental method right now. Um, so yeah, so I guess what I'm saying in many ways is that by moving your stop loss, starting out with a 5 pip stop loss for the GU or something like that, as long as it's below the band, below where the band finished and momentum changed, or where momentum changed, wherever the band is at that point, below that band, 1 or 2 pips, 3 pips if you can, 5 pips if you can. If you grab that entry, great. If momentum does switch for you, and you get that entry, then yeah, perfect. Then you can have a quite you can be a quite away from quite a bit away from the ban. Um, but once that trade really kicks off and starts going, you could be aiming for 3 to 1. You could be aiming for a risk management of 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. And what you can do is move your stop loss. Move your stop loss to 0 or to 1.1, where 1 point, I think it's roughly, normally it's 1.2, 1.3, depending on what your spread was at the time on C Trader. That works out to break even. So that takes into account the spread and the commission as well, and that's a break even point. So that becomes a risk-free trade. So that's why I'm going to have a sip of my whiskey right now, because on Fridays sometimes when I'm sitting in a risk-free trade, actually like the one we discussed yesterday, which I was telling Jazz about, the 4 to 1 where I took 17 pips with like a 4 pip stop loss. You know, I was sitting there having a whiskey, not even worried about it, because what I had done was afterwards I had moved my stop loss to break even. So I was like, well, whatever happens now. But then once I saw a little bit of momentum switch, I got out. Could I have stayed in that trade? Yeah, I could have taken a lot more. But I just saw, I was so happy with the 4 to 1 that sometimes I just take profit. And it's Friday, it's towards the end of the day. I don't want to be stuck in a trade, especially on this weekend, because there's been more Brexit news. So I was quite happy to walk away with that 4 to 1 um, strategy. So even the video I just showed you, had you lost a couple of trades in there, then you still would have been fine. You would have still finished 10 pips in profit. And you know what, that day it was a two-way thing. Um, and to be honest, actually, we got a lot more pips than that, didn't we? Because we took 19 and then we took another 14 on the GU. So, that was like you finished plus 35 pips, that was, right? So yeah, you ended up with 35? No, no. No, so 33 pips. Yeah, you had 33 pips. So even if you lost 5 or 10, who cares? It doesn't matter. Yeah. Right, let's pick another video. Oh, let's go to videos. Right. Um, mm, haven't done that one for a while. Right. I hope the other thing is I hope any of you guys are watching this, you guys are watching these videos and you're just going through every single one. Like one of the things I do is some days I'll say all I'm doing today is looking at the long-term charts and what happens when I'm going to basically at the beginning I'm going to guess what's going to happen. That it's going to go up at this point, it's going to go down at this point, and that really helps me figure out how things work. Actually, like for example, let's say that this was to come all the way back down here, I would still be biased up because there's a 4 hour that's just finished, and you know what, that 4 hour, to me that's a trend maker, so. It's got a daily with it as well, so I'd be quite biased up on this. Which actually, let's look at that. So I am quite biased up on GU as well. But only thing is, it's hitting this 4 hour band. We haven't got any signals against us yet, but there could be a small bounce back. But we're going to see. You can see the band. Remember what we're doing? We're going to go with the flow. So you can see the band has come to 96. EG. Similar story. I am biased up again. I've got 4 hour, I've got 8 hour blue, I've got the 1 hour red yellow, which seems to be have closed above the OL. Could it come down a bit? Yeah, it could come down a bit before it goes up. Again, we're going to go with the flow. Everything is saying the flow is saying up. Look at this huge wick. Look at this huge wick that just finished on the 8 hour. A huge wick on the 4 hour. Wicks on there. This is up. I'm telling you that is up. Again, like, for me, this is still, I know the bands are there, so there could be a pullback, but we're doing go with the flow. And right now, the flow tells me that the new low is here on this HA band. So you know, let's see what happens. Right. I'm going to try and go a bit quicker through these because not this going up because obviously this video is getting pretty long now. The last part, which I'm going to join with this part, is together. It's going to make like probably an hour long video. So you know, you guys will probably get tired of hearing from me. But I honestly hope that this helps because I think that one of the biggest reasons a lot of people are losing is because they're actually trying to reverse. They're trying to pick the moments where everything's going to reverse, and then lots of things go against them for lots of different reasons. Slippage, because price wants to get higher or lower than where they thought, and they're trying to pick the bottoms and the tops. And when you do that, becomes very tricky. So this is what the whole point of the signals is about, and this is the whole point of the trend. The signals are there to tell you that this trend has really gone as far as it can, or this trend could. Like this is how you have to look at the signals. This trend could now be finishing. So before you dive in, you need some sort of confirmation to say that, yeah, this is definitely over. And that's where the HA bands come in because they give you the fastest confirmation with the flip down, band flip downs. But it's not just them alone. It's, you got to have the 1 and 4 signals with you because for the 2 hours that we're trading, it's the 1 and 4 signals that matter because one is telling you what's going to happen in the next 4 hours and the other one's telling you what's going to happen in the immediate hour. So you know, like you have to combine these things. The story has to be there with even risk management. But if you get your risk management right, sometimes you can basically go with the flow, not even know much about the story, and take a hell of a lot of pips. That's the other thing, and that's why, Jazz is just a legend because he's given you exactly what you need now to win. Um, and with combined what I was saying to MT on private chat this week, I was like, with the whole go with the flow strategy and using the type of risk management that I'm telling you right underneath the band, so you don't have to be 5 pips away. But like the GU right now, it's 125.03. You can say, all right, I'm going to go 2 pips under that at 125.01, or if you want to round it off in this case at 125.00, that's 3 pip. Basically, you can have a 3 pip. You could be 3 pips just under the band. You might enter a bit later, so yeah, all right, you might enter 2 pips above the band, but it's really tight, and losing doesn't matter. You can take some risks, and you won't be afraid because you are going to catch something. If you're going with the trend and you use this strategy, you can lose 3 trades or 4 trades and catch one, and it will make up for all of them. Yeah, and that might go for 20, 30 pips, so you might either break even or finish in profit. It just can't be any better than this. And you can't blow your account. Let's say you took 5 trades let's say you took 5 trades this coming Monday. You lost all of them. Guess what? You lost 20 pips. Can you make that back the next day? Yes, you can. You can afford to have a bad day, guys. You don't have to be minus 60, minus 100 because you are holding these trades forever. And then you're just like, how am I going to make all my money back? It's just not going to happen. Potential on the UC, you could probably, if that momentum changes, you could take that up. This flip down has happened on the GU. I mean, I'm not going to take UC. I don't take GC, but the two I'm interested in right now are EG and GU. I know I've got these reversals going on the UC, but again, it's wiki. Look at it. There's so many wicks. I've got a daily down. I've got 8 hour up, 4 hour up, 1 hour up. It's just I just don't like it. So I'm interested in here and here if I get momentum. This hasn't even given me it. The EG hasn't even given me it. I'm going to forward a bit. Right. GC is breaking. Oh, GU is breaking through like crazy. Still got no signals. Oh wait, I got momentum there. Do you see how because we didn't enter here because we didn't our momentum was still red. We didn't accidentally get into a trade. Right, I'm interested. Look, this is coming down now. This is also in a potential place. I know I've got these blues, but you know what? I'm going with the flow. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna give it a go. Nah, 99. It's not gone green yet. It's not gone green. Green, there you go. Oh, this is going to be more than 5 pips entry. I'm not in yet. I'm not in yet, guys. Because it's just jumped away from a good entry. The stop loss is too big. I don't like it. You know what? Let's take it. 02. 02, we're in. And our stop loss is going to be 90. Call it 94. So 90, 94. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8. We've got an 8 pip stop loss. I don't like it, but let's we're going with the flow. Let's see what happens. 8 pip stop loss. Not happy about that, guys. But I want you to let's see what happens. Not too happy with the fact that this is flipped down, but I'm not worried about it because actually we haven't got enough to tell us to go down. The one thing that worries me is that it's hit the 8-hour band. But we're going to go with the flow. I'm still interested in this EG because this is the EG for me is still up. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's yeah. There's a 4 hour. I'm interested. I am interested in this EG. I'm going to take it if it gives me the green mums. Where is that? 23, 20, 24. I'm in. So that flashed at 24, and I would have got in that. So 24 again. 5 pip 19 is where my stop loss is, right below here. So that's a 5 pip stop loss. This is still at 02 where we entered. That's not good, is it? Right. Right, so we're in two trades. We're in the EG up and we're in the GU up. And I realize that quite often the EG goes the opposite direction to the GU, but right now to me the setups are up on that. The setup to me is up on the EG, and actually I don't have the same setup on the GU. It's telling me something else, so let's hang in there for a second, right? Oh, gone against me. It looks like I got stopped out here. That probably went to 95, didn't it? So I lost this. 8 pips I lost on the GU. So we're down 8 pips. EG is winning. EG is winning. We're going to stay in that. Where did we get in on... I don't remember the price. I think it was 22, right? Yeah, it was something like 22. Right, we're up 9 pips on that. Then 11. All right, it's going. All right, keep going. Yeah, keep going. Okay, I'm getting a yellow on the 5 minute. 4 hour on here. It's hit the 8 hour. This might be a good time for me to get out. Let's see. Give me a reason. Oh, he hasn't given me a reason to get out yet. Look at that. Like I didn't get any arrows on the HA. Still going. It's at 38 now. You see, we're 8 pips down here. Let's remember this, guys. We've actually lost 8 pips here. I know you guys are focused on the EG with me right now, but we've lost 8 pips. Right, I'm moving my break even to 22. We're at 0 now, so we can't lose. I'm moving it to 1.5 actually. We can't lose now. We're sorted. We can't lose that. The worst case scenario is we're going to end up with this 8 pips down. But with this trade, it's going. Oh, it's still going. 42, 21. So we're at 20 pips now. 20 pips. 20 pips. Go on. It's red yellows all over the shop. I'm loving it. Right, look, it's still 44, 22 pips now. 22 pips. Oh, it's going red. I'm going to take it. 22 pips. Am I going to take it? Actually, no, 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 no. Let's wait. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Ah, yes, flattening out. Take it. 43. 20. What is that? 21 pips. 21 pips minus 9. You're winning. That's all I can say. And we went with the flow with both of them. This one lost. This one won. Um, and to be honest, oh yeah, actually, yeah, like, right, we've got no reason to be honest, I think this is going to go more. I really think this is going to go more, but I'm going to get out because we lost 8 pips on the other one, didn't we? Right, you've had the green there. Oh, look, see, it's going more. It's going more. Yeah, it's, oh. Oh, there's an entry here. Right, we're gonna try and take it. Are we gonna take it? Yeah, we're gonna take it. 40. We need it to go green. It's not gone green. It's not gonna go green. Come on, go green. Right, 47. Get in. I'm gonna use a 4 pip stop loss here because the band is right here. Go on, push. Okay, this isn't good. Oh, 44. We're using a 4 pip stop loss. We need a couple more pips. 57. Right, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that. Oh, it's got 4 hour blues now, and it's at the band. Yeah, I'm gonna get out. Oh, is it gonna get to that orange line? Oh, I don't know, but I'm having a lot of fun here. 58. I gotta get out. 58. Yeah, I'm out. 57. Fine. Look, the arrows appeared as well now. Green's here. Right, 58. So what did we get that? 44. So 44, 54. Yeah, 13 pips. There you go. We risked 3 and got 13. Who cares about those 8 pips we lost? Who cares about those 8 pips we lost? We went with the flow, and guess what? We won. And we had a good entry strategy and we had a good exit strategy. What a beauty. Do you see, we went with the flow with the GU and the EG, and and yeah, fine. It didn't work out on one of them, but this is the whole point. Now, any of you guys that read Trading in the Zone, I'm going to sip my whiskey after that. I didn't even win any money because this is all a video, but I got pretty excited about it. Yeah, so any of you guys that read Trading in the Zone, one of the things he talks about, he says that if you're like a casino, now the casino knows that they're going to make a certain amount of profit, providing that they are at the table playing every single time. It doesn't matter how many people that walk in, but and it doesn't matter how many of those people that win. They know that they have a profit margin of something like 3% or 4%. And throughout the year, as long as they take every single one of the person that walks in's bet, they will finish with their 3% profit or close to. Now, trading is the same thing. What not Michael, I think it's Mark Douglas. What he says is that if as long as you take your setups right? And you manage your risk well, but you take all the opportunities that come to you in your strategy, and you only need one strategy, which is what Jazz has given you here, is go with the flow. And what I'm saying is go with the flow with full-on risk management that takes into account what you need to be, like risk management is like setting your stop loss below the band. When you get to a certain point, like 10 bips or whatever, move your stop loss to break even. So suddenly it becomes a risk-free trade. Um, so suddenly it becomes a risk-free trade, and you can just ride the hell out of it. By using this methodology, you are going to win. And I've just shown you that just now through a couple of videos. So please, can you think about that and think about what Mark Douglas is saying is that if you're taking all the opportunities and you're managing your risk, you're taking more than you lose, then whatever happens is you can have a 40% win ratio, but you're going to win. Um, and anybody that hasn't read Trading in the Zone needs to read it. I don't care. I really don't mind, if you don't, because this is for you. Jazz makes all these videos for you. I'm making this video for you. I don't need to be sitting here at 11:30 at night when I could be watching something on Netflix or just sitting chilling out a bit. Especially when I've been obviously looking after my daughter and chilling out my wife and stuff all day. I can continue to do that, but I don't need to be making these videos um, to show you what you do, what to do, because it ain't gonna make a difference whether you follow this strategy of Jazz. Jazz is go with the flow with my risk management, or like it doesn't matter if you follow it or not. Um, to me, because it should matter to you. And if you're not putting the hours in watching all these demo videos that the members have been like, some of the members, I can't remember who, but shout out to whoever it is that puts all these records all these demo videos for us. If you're not watching them all and studying them, then it's just not going to happen for you. And I'm just going to be really honest about that it's not going to happen for you. So I'm telling you, read Trading in the Zone and understand. a little bit more about what it takes to be a good trader and how to be in the right mindset for it as well. And then at the same time, like watch Anissa's videos. She's brilliant at entries and stuff. So watch them because if you don't want to do go with the flow of the HA band, then fine, look more at the Anissa method because I think that method works. It's harder for me because sometimes I struggle with getting that. She has a very precise entry, and I don't always get that precision. Whereas with this strategy, what I have is precision. What I do sometimes, and I think I did it on the one we talked about on Friday, is something like this yellow, for example. At times, because it's on the 4 hour, it's hit the 8 hour. There could be a bounce. That's when I'll have precision with it. I might see that yellow, and I'll say, okay, I'm going to wait for momentum to change. Momentum to change here. It's at 76. I might have taken that and put my stop loss at 71. Um, or it's at 80 right now, but I would have waited for it to be at around 75, 76. I would have taken this and I would have put my stop loss there, but I don't know if it's going to win or not, but I don't mind losing, right? So look, I'm getting an opportunity to take it here now, and this is exactly what I did on Friday for that one where I used a 4 pip stop loss and took 17 pips, and it could have been 25 pips. I just got out early because I bottled it. That's the honest truth. See, look, again, you're getting a second move on the 5 minute. That this is when this is a trade that I would be interested in because, there's lots of reasons on the long terms to get in them. And, momentum is switching. There's a lot going for that trade. So, look, and it's gone. You've already got your 2 to 1. Yeah, and I'm telling you to have a minimum of 2 to 1, but you can easily get 4 to 1, even 5 to 1 with this trading strategy because trust me, most traders they can't have a 5 pip stop loss and win. I'm showing you how you can have a 5 pip stop loss and win using Jazz's go the flow strategy. So, and it doesn't. Remember, it's not always 5 pips. Look at how far you are from the bands. If the trader's got away from you, don't enter it. Yeah, don't enter it because don't think that what I can now do is have a 15 pip stop loss as long as I'm trying to get 30 pips because that's not how this strategy works. This strategy works on momentum changing when it's at the bands and you going with the flow. That's how this strategy works. Yeah, so if you're suddenly 13, 14 pips away from your stop loss, don't even bother trying to get into that trade. That means you need to work on your entries. And actually, that's the final thing I want to actually tell you as well. That like, let's do one more video and then I'll have my rant a little bit more. Um, Yeah, because the other thing is that this is now past happy hour, so I'm going to change the video anyway. One thing I want you guys to be careful about is, once it gets to about 10:30, that's when like you got to start things will start acting differently. It's not always going to follow the same trend. Trends might start to change. The real happy hour does start around 10:30, but the big moves can happen at quarter to or at 11 o'clock on the dot. So or between this is where a really big change can happen. But weirdness does start from this time, so you need to take that into account as well. Right, let's do another video. Uh, Come on. I told you my internet is just it's being really difficult today. It's just I haven't done that clearly for a while, based on what it's showing. Oh, this looks a bit crazy. You know what? Let's look at it anyway. Yeah, it looks crazy. Look at this. This could be a big news. Ugh, I don't know. Again, my internet's being so slow, but um, as I mentioned earlier, like please do you guys do your studying because if you don't do your studying, nothing that anybody says is going to help you. Um, right. But I hope everybody understands now how you can use Jazz's Go, the flow strategy and risk management, and you're just going to be on flyers. You're literally going to be on flyers. Now, do you know what? Like when I'm looking, let's go back to the charts. When I'm looking at the GU and stuff, look, this is all down 8 hours. I know you've got these blues, but this is nothing that you suddenly reverse, yeah? Even if the blues are there, you don't start saying a reversal's coming until you get more confirmations. You see these moves really starting. We're going with the flow on this. Again, UCAD has clearly had big news as well, or this is probably where the big news update came and it affected GU. Again, I know the blues are here, but we are not, and I know that this is already on here, but we are not interested in taking this down. And I know it's hitting the daily, but look how many pips have just gone. Like it's gone. Yeah, so we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go with the flow until we start losing. But before that, we need an entry. Are we gonna get an entry on the UC or the pound? Because I'm interested in both of them. I'm not that interested in this because you can see. Look at this. What a mess. If you want to trade this, be my guest. I'm not trading anything crazy and silly like this because it's just not worth it. Right, potential entries. This is flashing green though, so it's not time to enter that. Oh, this is breaking the band. You see how we are not in it. Momentum has not changed, which means that we are not accidentally looking at a touch here and getting in, and then see this go against us some more, because that is not good risk management and that is not good trading. Right, now what we're looking for, we still look, all right, where is this? 27, 28 is still green. Look at it. 28, 29. Is it going to get to the 5 minute? Usually it would, but because it's such a big move, it might not. Oh, we missed it. Look, there you go. So momentum is going to change probably, and we're going to get in. We're going to take this down. Where is it? 29. Momentum hasn't changed yet. Right, it's changing. It's gone a lot, isn't it? 25. Right, I'm going to take that 25 down. I'm in it, 25 down. Has this changed? This hasn't changed yet. 25 down, my stop loss is right above here. So it's approximately 5 pips again because that's just above yeah. No, it's 31. 6 pips is my stop loss. So I have to be at about 31 because I can see that it's just under 30 or 30 here. So yeah, we need to be at about 30. Now I'm being really tight with this because I got these blues and stuff, and I'm still taking the risk because I don't mind losing 5 pips. And it's going as well. We're in at 25. This is going green. Where's my green momentum on the UCAD? Come on, give me a trade here. Where's my trade? I'm interested in this. Come on, give me some green. It's at 99. Oh, there you go. 0, 0. I'm in. Flash green. 0, 0. And you know what? My stop loss here is going to be 5 pips for now, but I'm going to move it once I see where the band price is. Oh, look at this. Ew, there's another entry. Uh, oh no, 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 that's not an entry up. We're going down, aren't we, on the GU? I'm getting confused. Right, GU is down. UC is up. We are in. We were in this at 0, 0. We were in this at 25. We're not winning yet. We're winning on that, which is okay, but right, let's go. Boom. Right, that's gone to 14, 20. What was I entering? 25. So we're 10 pips up on that. 5 on that. Am I getting out? No, I'm not getting out. Look at this. It's all going down. I haven't got a reason to get out yet either. Oh, this is a reason to get out. Yellows flattening out. Right. Potential get out here. If momentum changes, I may get out. Because it's 10 pips though. Right, I've moved my stop loss to break even. It's going, there you go, it's going some more. Everything's hitting blues. I ain't got no blues on the 4 hours yet. I'm still waiting for this. Alright, this is up 6 pips. Remember, what was our stop loss on here? 96.00. So I have got a 5 pip stop loss. Oh, no, sorry. 93, I got it at 00. So I got, yeah, so I'm at literally, I would have a 6 pip stop loss on that. So I'm literally, even that I should consider moving to break even. I'm not going to yet. I don't mind risking the pips. Right. The fact that this has changed momentum, I'm not happy about. Where is that? 19 is coming back, isn't it? I'm gonna hang in there because while I was talking to you, I didn't get out of this. Um, but you know, I think it's got more in it. This is gonna keep going up as well because it's creating a trend. You see, like you've got so much going for us. I know the blues are there. Trust me, I know the blues are there, but it's just not gonna immediately kick in. Um, Again, the UC is now sitting against us. It's okay. Look, there we go. It's all working out. It's at 8 now. This is flipping back up. Again, that went a pip against us, but it's all right. 0-0. We're on break. It's on literally right. This is flying though. I don't even mind what's happening to the UCAD right now. If it breaks me out, it breaks me out. I need to keep an eye on this GU. We got in at 25, right? So we're at 20 pips now. 20 pips? No, we're at 21 pips. Loving that. 21, 23. I'm gonna get out 0-0 by the way, guys, because you know 0-0 is a pretty important number. Okay, you see how the second move is like potential. That's green right now. I'm gonna get out. Ooh, am I gonna get out? Yeah, I'm gonna get out. 2504. 3. There you go. 2503 it was. So I've got out and I've taken 22 pips from that. This still hasn't done nothing for me. I'm still 3 pips up, 8 pips up. Oh yes, go on. Keep going. Keep going. Oh look, this got to 0-0. I should have stayed in. Never mind. As I said, I'm still working on the whole staying in thing. Ah, this is gone. It's gone. Look at this. Whoa. What was that? Zero. We got in what? Oh, we were in this at 0-0. This is 25 pips. 26 pips. 26 pips. We're hitting this. We're hitting. I'm going. Time to get out. Time to get out. Yep, time to get out. I'm gonna get out. 27 pips. Yeah, there you go. There it is. 27. You know what? Let's wait for momentum change because it's a lot of pips. I'll wait for momentum change. Getting arrowed down. I'm definitely out. 23. Fine. 24, it's at here. Fine, 24 pips. I'll take that. Even 25 potentially by the time I got out. Whatever. 20, call it, just to make it easy, call it 25. How much did I get here? 22, right? So that's 40, 40. By the way, we're not even stacking anything, guys, right? And this is 45 pips or something like that. 47 pips we got. Um, and it's only been an hour since we've been in the room. Time to sit back, have a little chat in the chat roll, and grab yourself a drink. Go get a coffee. We've got nothing to worry about. UCAD's getting a 1 hour now. The 4 hours there. The 4 hours there before anybody. Like I said, the trend. Follow the trend, guys. You're 44 pips up. What do you do now? You want to take this? I don't. I've got signals against me. I've got big signals against me. So yeah, I don't know yet. Look, it would have won. It would have won. I wouldn't have taken it. I'll be honest with you. Because my mentality never changes. Once I've taken a certain amount, I'm good. Like I don't need more. I don't need to take bigger risks. Even if I am risking 5 pips, why do I need to take such a big risk for? Look, this has continued going down. This has continued going up. Oh, you could have taken them and you would have got more. Um, but you know, I'm relaxing now, and I'm going to end this video as well because obviously this video is it's quite long. I can't remember how long the mindset stuff I talked about at the start was. But this video itself is an hour long. So look, guys, I hope you get it. I'm going to stop here now because there's plenty here. You know, this is an hour plus video that takes you through how going with the flow is the way to do things with good risk management. Go with the flow, use my risk management method, and you are going to win a lot of pips. Next week, we're going to see a lot of scores after you guys watch this video, or maybe the week after everybody's seen this video. There's going to be some big scores coming out. I promise you that. Jazz has absolutely nailed it with the go with the flow strategy, and it's so hard to do it wrong. And if you are doing it wrong, that's your mindset. It's either your mindset because you're not setting your stop losses correctly, and then you're not exiting when you've got enough. The trades we're talking about today were a majority of them were 4-1, 3-1. Yeah, against our stop loss. So we're risking five and getting potentially 15, 20, 19. We were getting all sorts of numbers there, weren't we? And I didn't even I mean, like, it's a shame we didn't find one where we just flew up for 30 pips or something, because oh well, actually this would have been a 30 pip. Look, it went to 81. How had you held it? Again, I bottled it because I'm still, the truth is I'm still learning how long to hold trades for. And this is why Jazz talks about taking two. The only problem I have personally with the taking two thing is that that means I'm risking 5 pips on two trades, which means I'm doubling the amount that I'm willing to lose. Um, if the trade does lose, and we did lose a couple today, right? So that means that if you're going to stack, that means you always have to stack everything. You can't stack one thing and then not stack another thing. And you got to be comfortable with what the total lot size is between your stacks. So if you do 2-2, then you got to say, okay, one I'm going to take for 10 pips and walk away, and I'm going to risk five for that. So you're using a 2-to-1 ratio on that one, and then the other one I'm going to leave running and I'm going to move to break even. However, I am completely comfortable with losing 5 pips on both of them if that trade goes wrong. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But yeah, go with the flow, good risk management. The only way you're losing is if you can't read the one and fours correctly, so you need to go and watch Jazz's one and four videos, and then you need to go through every single demo video we've got on the YouTube channel. And at the beginning, guess what's going to happen, and then see if you were right, and if you were wrong, see why you were wrong and what stopped. Maybe you were right to a degree. Maybe it did start going in the direction you thought, but it decided to turn around because it hit a 4 hour orange road, or whatever it is. But that's what you need to do. That means your long term, you're not reading the long terms correctly often enough. It's okay if you get the long term wrong every now and again. The whole idea of go with the flow strategy is that um, you're going with which direction the momentum is in, or the trend is in. So like, that's why you're gonna already start doing better, I think. Um, but yeah, guys, it's Dips Maverick here. It's now like it's quarter to midnight. So I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna finish my whiskey and I'm gonna call it. So thank you very much. I hope you guys like this video, and I hope to see some really good scores out there. Big shout out to MT, who is the king in my opinion. For creating an absolute genius of a system. And big shout out to all the MTs. I hope we see BR again soon because I miss that guy. Um, but shout out to Jazz, Anissa, MB, PP, Jules, Kevin the Sniper. Am I missing anyone else? I don't know. I'll go. If I've missed someone, I'm sorry, but shout out to all the MTs, because you know what, you guys are all really helpful. Oh, Hugo as well. Um, all of the stuff you guys do is really helpful, and has helped me immensely. So thank you very much, and I wish the best for all of you guys. Um, Guys, whoever's not winning, you're gonna win. Just go with the flow of risk management, and you're gonna start seeing some big scores. Cheers. Signing out. Bye bye.